Now, it's a heartbreaking story, but last month, 59-year-old Yvonne Ford tragically died from rabies after a puppy scratched her while on holiday in Morocco.
Yvonne showed no symptoms for 4 months, but when signs appeared, it was too late. Within weeks, she sadly passed away.
Today, in the hope of raising awareness, we're joined by Yvonne's family, her husband Ron, and children Robin and Adam, alongside Dr. Nagat. Thanks for joining us. So sorry to be meeting you under these circumstances. You're here to raise awareness, and that's exactly what we want to do today. Could you take us back to, you were in Morocco and you were on holiday. Tell us a little bit about that trip and what happened.
Well, basically, it's we go away quite a lot. We went to Morocco for a winter break, had a great time. 2 days before we came home, we were on the beach outside the hotel, and there was lots of dogs running about everywhere, and there was a puppy actually underneath the sunbed of Yvonne's. She put her leg down, it startled the dog, and it just scratched her. It didn't bleed, it didn't really mark her. So I asked her, shall we go see somebody? And she basically says, well, it's not bled, so yeah. You're unaware, you don't know. It's so that was the second to last day of the holiday. No illness, no nothing. Fantastic. Went home. A month later, still nothing, no symptoms whatsoever.
And you've been on a few other trips. You went to Florida.
Yeah, in May we went to Florida. In fact, on the 21st of Florida, she was dancing round a pole in Epcot with my granddaughter.
Sorry, Ron.
It's all right.
Take a minute, Ron. So when, and this is to anyone that can answer, when did the symptoms first arise?
So we come back from Florida on the 23rd of May. The following week, my dad and my mum went to York on a little fishing trip in the camper van.
Yeah.
And on the Saturday, my mum started with a horrendous headache, unbearable headache, to the point where she couldn't sleep at all. The Monday after that, my dad had taken her to A&E because the headache was so severe. On the Monday, she went into hospital walking, talking, doing everything. And come the Friday, she couldn't walk, talk, swallow. She had a fear of water. She was horrendously hallucinating beyond what we could even imagine. She just deteriorated within 5 days.
And Robin, I know these. Thank you, Adam and Robin. I know these questions are so hard to answer, but I know you wanted to be here to raise awareness. I think the thing, when we were talking about it earlier on, that shocked us was, in your head, you think, to start with, you think, oh, you have to get bitten. And then, so firstly, it's so innocuous what happened to her. And then the time lag between her getting scratched and the symptoms feels so long.
Well, apparently it can last up to 2 years in your body.
Right.
Before it starts showing any symptoms.
And everyone pets an animal on holiday. Can we just bring in Dr. Nagat? I mean, that's the thing that, like I said, that shocked us. So what are the stats? What normally happens between someone being bitten or saliva or blood, getting the blood in the system or whatever, and then getting symptoms?
The interesting thing is that incubates for a very long time, as Ron said, up to 2 years. On average, we know it's between 3 to 12 weeks it can incubate, but it can be months, even years longer than that. It's a zoonotic virus, and it causes inflammation of the spinal cord and the brain. And that inflammation can be really innocuous. With this case, with Yvonne, she didn't even get a scratch. I mean, I was talking to Robin earlier. She said there was nothing on the skin, but the bugs get into the skin. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you get help and seek help as soon as you possibly can. But if you're not thinking about it, as you said earlier, and you're not making the connections between the dots, this is why raising this awareness is vitally important.
Yeah. And is there such thing as protection? Because, like you say, it's not something that you would expect. When it arrives, there's quite literally nothing you can then do. How do you protect yourself before perhaps going on that holiday?
So immediately before you go on holiday, there is actually a rabies vaccine that we can give. It's available privately for travel. So we know that there are 59,000 cases of rabies or deaths across the world in 150 countries. So places like Morocco, Asia, Africa, North Africa. The world has become such a small place now that we don't think about it because we've managed to eradicate it in Europe. But people are traveling all over the world. If you have a scratch, the most immediate thing is to wash it with soap and water, clean the wound as much as you possibly can. And it's not always just a scratch that we get from kittens or dogs or bats, etc. It could even be licking of the nose and the mucosal tissue, so your tongue, your lips, your nose, your eyes. So wash all of that out. And then there is post-exposure treatment that you can be given as well. The most important thing is thinking about it and then getting the treatment, ideally washing and cleaning, but within minutes or hours or as soon as possible. But if you know that you're going to be in a place where immediate treatment might not be available, so India, Pakistan, North Africa, wherever you might be going, then it's really important to make sure that you think about getting that rabies vaccine.
Yeah, the vaccine to start with I mean, it's not even that, I've had it, it's not even that much, is it? And it lasts for quite a while, does it?
It lasts for a very long time, and there are 2 boosters as well. So you get one and you get a booster, and then afterwards you can, many years later, get a booster as well. But I think the most important thing when I was talking to Robin, Ron and Adam was the fact that we don't think about it in Europe. We could be going out and our children will pet animals. My 7-year-old, if we go on holiday, in fact, I was just saying to them earlier, I went to Morocco as well. And my 7-year-old will be very much out there as children. And children don't tell their their parents that they might have had a scratch or a bite.
Of course, when they're playing.
Exactly. And the thing is, it incubates so well. And then the symptoms of this headache that comes, this flu-like symptoms, hallucination, and then almost this spasming of the throat that can happen because you fear of swallowing. You find it really difficult to swallow. So it's known as hydrophobia. It's not that you're fear of water, but just the swallowing mechanism. But that, unfortunately, that is fatal, and there is no cure past that.
Guys, thanks so much for coming in, because you're in the fog of grief at the moment, and I know you need to channel that grief somewhere, and you're doing it so bravely with us. What's the one message you would like to send to anyone who is thinking about going to that part of the world for a holiday they should enjoy and and a culture they should dive into? So what's the one thing you'd say to them?
Just check the recommendations from the government. I mean, Morocco was only recommended for rabies. It's not you have to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more of just check. We don't want the people to go through what we've gone through. Seeing your mum deteriorate in 7 days like that, we don't want anybody to see that ever again. So if we can just get the awareness out, just check. Contact your doctor, get the injections. That's all we want. Awareness. 30 years ago, it was on every telly.
I remember it, yeah.
You're so right.
So our generation are aware of it. My children aren't aware of it, and their children will not be aware of it. So we're just trying to re-bring out all the information.
Since we've put it out on Facebook to raise awareness, we have had people messages saying that they've been abroad, they've had scratches from cats and dogs, and they've then gone to get the vaccine. So I feel like we are doing something, we're making a little bit of a change, and then if we can do that for one family, then we've made a difference.
You're honestly incredible, all of you, just for being here, for raising awareness. Incredible.
Don't forget as well the World Cup's in Morocco in 2030.
That's right.
So anybody that's going, just beware.
Get your jab done. Thank you so much.
Well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
So Alison Collins was the patient you saw there in the clip. She sustained serious injuries in her partner Nick when a fairground rail malfunctioned. Morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Both look well, which is good. So let's start with you, Nick. Let's take us back to that fateful day. I play football every Thursday, and a lot of my mates down in South London always go to the Lambeth Country Show. They say it's something they never miss. It's a really lovely cultural melting pot, a real sense of community. Why was it you wanted to go there?
The same thing. It's like a traditional country fair meets a reggae festival.
Yeah.
And we've been for many years. We enjoy the cider. There's usually some Chucklehead cider there and really good food. Yeah. And it's great music. So,
So why not, right?
Why not? Yeah.
So what happened? Because you weren't originally going to go on a ride at all, were you? You just got given like a free pass or something.
Yeah, I mean, we were about to go home. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and my sister was there and my 12-year-old niece. And her friends were on that ride. And so we're just hanging around, talking to friends. And this guy comes along and says, hey, I've got to run off. I've got 3 tickets to go on this ride. Anybody want them? And so me and Nick went, well, we're killing time. Why not?
Yeah.
We tried to persuade my niece to go on. And thankfully, she declined because she wanted to wait for her friends to come off the ride.
Yeah.
Awful. So your sister was there as well?
Yeah.
Claire. So you went on the ride.
Yeah.
Your sister's watching.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I'm guessing that you do not remember a thing.
Well, I mean, I remember getting on the ride. I remember being strapped in. I don't think Nick remembers anything from really just before the ride, before we got on the ride. I remember getting strapped in. So I was in the middle, Nick was on the outside, and then because it was like there's three spaces on the car, there was a space beside us, so it was just us two on the ride, and then that's it. I mean, next thing we know, we're sort of waking up, a few days later, a few weeks later.
I was going to say, what's the timeline between your last memory and then you waking up?
Mine was half an hour before, and then probably a good few weeks afterwards. Yeah.
Because you actually spent 2 months in hospital, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So the ride actually malfunctioned. We don't really know what happened, but it malfunctioned, and it was actually quite disastrous, actually. Nick, you broke every bone in your face.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Every single bone. There was a neck injury, a head injury.
Yes, I broke a couple of ribs, and the metal arm went through my stomach muscle. Yeah. So.
Unbelievable. And Alison, you broke your ribs and punctured a lung.
Yeah, I mean, I had I had fractured skull, brain injury, a broken arm, finger, clavicle, and pretty much every rib.
And your poor sister watched this. What does she remember? Can you remember what Claire says about it?
I mean, Claire's in the show as well. She's sort of, she sort of actually narrates what happened to us. She saw us go on the ride, but probably wasn't paying that much attention. Then I think when the ride started to malfunction, she realised something was going wrong, and she says she saw my shoes, and that I had quite distinctive, colourful shoes on, and she saw those, and it was that point in time she realised it was us that had been injured and impacted.
You've just seen footage of a similar ride, and the thing is, you don't go on you go on these rides like. It's not like someone's just rocked up and put this up. Do you know what I mean? These rides are tested and they're safe. You think they're safe and stuff. So, obviously we don't know exactly what happened with the malfunction. But you just don't think about this sort of thing happen, especially when someone's just been on it in front of you.
It's a fun fair.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We're going to have fun.
What do you know of the timeline then, but after the accident, to you getting to the hospital? So obviously the emergency services kicked in pretty quick and very impressively, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously sort of the first responder was actually on site. They had the ambulance service there at the show, so they ran down. Obviously, then people were calling the emergency services, and I think the ambulances arrived pretty quick. And sort of, I think they were doing triage to assess our injuries. Obviously, Nick was much more injured than myself. There was me, and then there was obviously a little girl and her grandfather too.
And how are they? Do we know?
I think they're okay now. Yeah. They were obviously massively traumatic experience for them.
Of course.
And you two were separated, weren't you? You went to completely different hospitals.
Yeah. Alison went to King's College and I went to St George's.
So was there ever a time you thought, when did you realise that they were filming a documentary? Because obviously you guys are kind of out of it. At what point did you know they had been filming you the whole of this time?
After I came out from hospital, my sister was round my house and she said, well, you do realise that Netflix were filming? And I was like, what? And the thing is that the filming stopped once we went off to ICU.
Yeah.
So, we have no memory of that. And then when Nick was in St George's, the producer came in to see him, and I happened to be there, and they were wanting to do some follow-up. And obviously, because we were recovering, it was okay to sort of actually join in with the show.
So what were because it sort of messes with your mind a little bit. What were Netflix doing there? What was the documentary makers making before they happened on you? Were they making a kind of 24 hours in A&E style show?
Yeah, they were filming all around the 4 trauma centres in London. sort of, effectively doing similar thing to 24 hours in A&E, but
Yeah.
really focused on the critical response. So, like the ambulance service, the resus in hospitals, the air ambulance.
So you're part of that document.
So
Yeah.
they're episode 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different
Yes,
episodes
exactly.
as well.
I think there's 6 episodes. Yeah.
Were you hesitant at all when they asked your permission, or did you sign up quite quickly in terms of, I don't know what your motivations were? You wanted to highlight the NHS?
Totally. I think Alison and her sister were a little hesitant, but I really wanted to give something back to the NHS, and this simply was the easiest way of doing that.
Yeah.
So I sort of persuaded them to be in it.
Oh, and Nick, this has really impacted your life, hasn't it?
It has,
How
yeah.
has it impacted? Tell us some of the things that you have to go through on a daily now.
The traumatic brain injuries affected some of my memory. So I'm a gardener, so recalling some of the Latin names for plants has become difficult. Because of the brain injury, I had to give up my driver's license for 6 months, and that affected work.
Yeah.
And it's the funny little things like when my tongue touches the roof of my mouth, because I've had my palate remade.
Yeah.
That is a reminder of what happens.
Doesn't feel the same.
Doesn't feel the same, no. And there's a little bit of numbness. But
What about taste of food? Is that the same?
that's the same, yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And
And cider, thank goodness.
cider, yes.
And Nick, do you feel? I mean, I'm asking this kind of optimistically. Do you feel like? Do you feel progress every day?
Yes, totally. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Really good. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you coming in and taking the time. Thank you. Critical between life and death is streaming now on Netflix. Let's just bring in very briefly our consumer editor, Alice. Alice, we don't want to scaremonger anyone here. So lots of families going to be going to fun fairs this summer, myself included. How exactly are they regulated?
Well, it's the health and safety executive that regulate and oversee the running of fun fairs. And obviously they should be safe and fun places. There's something called the Amusement Devices Inspection Protection Scheme, which makes sure that these rides are designed and manufactured and reviewed constantly, and it's ongoing. But who's going to go to a fairground or a fun fair and ask for paperwork? Who's going to go online beforehand and check that they're members of the relevant trade associations? You're actually not going to do that. That's not practical. So all members of the public can do is actually use visual cues. And actually, when you think of your experience at a fairground, they're there and they're obvious. So looking at the machines, the site, is it clean? Is it tidy? Is it well maintained? Look at the attendants. Are they actually watching what they're doing? Are they paying attention? Are they chatting? Are they, fag in hand, actually focusing on the ride that they're supposed to be attending? Look at the safety warnings and heed them. So if you've got a child who's jumping up and down, that's not part of the ride. You sit still. And all I can say, obviously these aren't relevant to what happened to Nick and Alison, which was a malfunction, or, the investigation is probably undergoing. Don't try and beat the height restrictions. They're there for a reason. And if you beat them, then you could be the person who loses out rather than wins. But hopefully have a safe and happy time.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
More from Alice later
Thank
on as
you.
well. Thank you, guys.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to This
Back,
Morning.
everyone.
Now, we've got a story now that proves even the most savvy can be fooled by fraudsters.
The broadcaster and former Strictly champ Oria Duba thought he knew the telltale signs of a scam, but in a post online, he revealed he fell for someone impersonating a hero of his hook, line and sinker. Take a look.
I got an email from the Mel Robbins podcast team. It was from Mel. I told Mel everything. I never thought I'd be the person that was going to be scammed. Oh, didn't mention the fact that I got another email from fake Mel asking me a whole bunch of questions, really deep digging. And it made me think, if I was more vulnerable, if I was older, if I didn't know anything about this world, and I had sent all of this information, you start finding yourself in the middle of a hole that you don't even know how to climb out of.
Oh, Ray joins us now.
Morning.
Ray, I'm telling you, this is crazy that you, of all people, have been scammed like this, and I know you're a massive fan of Mel Robbins, like we all are.
Yeah,
Let them.
I'm crazy about Mel Robbins. And
Can you explain who Mel Robbins, to people that don't know who Mel
Well, she's been on the sofa quite recently.
motivator, isn't she?
She's an incredible person. She's a self-development hero. She wrote this book, The Let Them Theory, that she came on to promote only a few months ago. And essentially, I found her at a point in my life where I was kind of very vulnerable. I was needing someone to help me find the tools to get out of something very difficult. And immediately, a lot of uncertainty. Essentially, it's about finding ways to not let other people control your emotions, your actions, and your behaviours. And immediately, I felt lighter from this woman and the tools that she was.
So she's probably helped you, right?
It was somebody you needed at that time, wasn't
Totally
it?
transformed my outlook on my life, yeah. So she came in at a place where I really needed her.
And there you were, you went on Loose Women to talk about it because it was so life-changing for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. In January this year, I was promoting being on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I went on Loose. And I thought, do you know what? This feels like a really good opportunity to tell people about this woman who's kind of changed my life, really. I've adopted her as my own little life coach. And at that point, I was just beginning a kind of new self-development and really finding out a bit more about myself. And essentially, when you're quite vulnerable, if you find something that helps hook you out of a difficult place, it's really, really powerful.
Sure.
So I actually reposted that interview after she'd been on this sofa, after she'd done an interview with Davina on her podcast and Fern Cotton on her podcast.
I'm surprised you haven't met her.
Well, here was the thing. I was like, hold on, she's been in the country, she's on a tour. I'm her #1 fan.
Yeah.
Where's our meetup? So I reposted that interview.
So what happened then?
So after that, then my agent got an email from what we believed was Mel Robbins. We got an email from Mel Robbins.
And what did the email say?
The email said, I've heard that you're a huge fan of our podcasts. I would love to know your stories, your approach to our podcast really helps make us better. Tell us what the podcast has done, is how it's changed your life.
So the fact that had come through your agent, I think I would have believed that.
Immediately, I thought it was a professional.
Because already it's been through one, it's been through a gatekeeper, right?
Yeah, they've looked at it, they've checked it.
And in a way, I thought, I've been waiting my whole life for this. So I said to my agent, Sam, I said, mate, I've got this covered. I will take this on. And I then sent an email back. I took about 2 days to collect my thoughts and then tell Mel everything, how she had taken me from a really dark place and helped me take the tools to regain my control of my life. I told Mel everything. Like 12 pages worth of information.
Oh, wow.
So like really personal stuff.
Really personal stuff. And Mel was so sensitive and so caring. And I think the thing that was really insidious about it was the language that Mel was giving back, because I was giving this person information and coming back so sensitively. Thank you so much for telling this story. I think it's really, really going to help a lot of people. I feel that we were drawn together at this moment. I feel like
my goodness.
What you can do now is going to change a lot of people's lives. And it was kind of everything I guess I wanted to hear.
So that's nice. When did the red flags start?
They were kind of there from early on, Dermot, and it's so strange when you find yourself in a place where you're like, this is what I need to hear. I actually feel like there was a perfect cocktail of my vulnerability, connection, and a hint of desperation, because I was desperate to meet this hero of mine. And the language was so kind of connected. It really made me feel like there was somebody who was kind of bringing out this olive branch to me. And, you know, me and our family have been through a lot recently. And even at the point where I got a second email inviting me to be on Mel Robbins' podcast, it was on the day that we were going to plant a tree in honour of my sister. We lost my sister 3 months ago. They took their life.
So you were actually grieving as well?
We were grieving.
A lot of grief.
We were grieving, and I felt like a sign. It felt like it was exactly the point that Mel should come into my life and offer this incredible opportunity, which is when the tears went. And at that point, you've seen red flags, you've seen things that you think are a little bit untoward, but you go, here's everything I knew was headed my way, I'm in. And that's the hook. That's how they get you.
So after the hook,
on that vulnerability.
I guess my question is,
what do they want?
What do they want?
What do they want? Who knows what they want?
Did they ask you for any money at all?
At this point, I mean, this correspondence has been going on for about 3 weeks. So beyond that, they were kind of in. There was another email. They were asking questions about They wanted to know about if I'd had a podcast. They wanted to know where I lived. There was a lot of kind of personal information that they wanted to know. I'd twigged kind of at this point.
Okay.
But it made me think, just at that point when I put that video out, it made me think, had this gone on longer, had I not had a professional idea about how this worked and thought to go to the Mel Robbins official website and check out the official email address, I probably would have carried this on to the point that we've got a genuine connection.
I agree.
I'm going to do everything I need to do to continue this because I'm desperately hoping and knowing that I'm going to get on that
And you was in
podcast as
a
guest
dark
at
place at that time
Yeah,
as well.
so it was so
What do you
easy.
think that would have involved? A financial transaction, or?
Well, let me put it this way. There was a point where fake Mel was asking me where I'm from. And I had convinced myself that was because she wanted to know where to book the flight from to send me over to Boston to be a podcast guest.
Do you know what? I think they were fishing. I think
Fishing.
that was a phishing
Yeah.
scam. They
Yeah,
were
it could well have
fishing
been.
for information.
And the thing that's really terrifying is because it's not unusual, the scamming, whether it's phishing, whether it's, I've been hearing so much about Jordan Stevens talking about sextortion with boys who have low self-esteem, they're looking for that connection, and immediately they find people online who are preying on that vulnerability, and they're giving information away, they're giving images away, and before they know it, they're in a shame bubble, a shame hole that they can't get out of. It's just so insidious. It's so prevalent, and it's really, really terrifying. Because as you said, Alison, I don't think I'm stupid.
All right, what were you?
They
So how
got
did
me
you work
hook, line,
out?
and
How did
sinker.
you work out? Was it like the extra L, or you going on the website and realising, there's no way that they use the right address, or I don't know. How did you work?
In my case, the last straw was having gone through my agent, fake Mel, because for a long time I've been saying Mel, and it just seemed really bizarre. Fake Mel said, we can keep it on this email thread. It was a personal email thread. We can keep all the information here. We don't need to go anywhere else. And I thought, I just don't think that's, even coming here, there's a professional element, there's a researcher, go through the agent.
Yeah.
I thought that's just not how I thought it would happen. So I thought before I committed myself, and like I said, it was a really important family affair happening that day. And I just thought, before I really go there and commit myself to this, I just need to do a little bit of due diligence. And immediately,
I'm so glad you did.
It was so obvious that something was happening.
Do you know what? All right. So many people keep it secret when they get scammed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're on this show talking about it, because people will see you and think it can happen to anyone.
It really can.
Be vigilant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Thank you
And
so
what
much.
was so lovely beyond that, and if it wasn't for fake Mel, the real Mel wouldn't have got in touch.
And she has
only
now,
2
hasn't
nights
she?
ago, I got a DM from Mel Robbins saying,
Do you know what?
But
They
did
wanted
you?
to
Connect. Who knows?
Do you know
I was
what?
very confused.
You are going to
Like we're
meet
in
her one day.
Inception.
You are going to.
Yes.
He's going to meet her one day. I know it. She's going to watch this now, and she's going to be like, "I need to meet this."
Yeah,
man.
it has to be
It's
her. It
gonna
can't be
happen.
AI her.
I can't
It's
wait.
gonna happen.
I hope so. I hope so.
Thank you for sharing
Love
your
you
story.
both.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Now, when former Little Mix star Jessie Nelson discovered she was having twins with her partner Zion, she was over the moon.
But when she announced her pregnancy to her fans, posting that she was eating for 3, she had no idea of the challenge the world was about to throw her way.
There are complications that come with having identical twins. The type of twins we are having are called monodi twins. I am currently pre-stage TTTS, which is twin-to-twin transfusion. Every time I've gone, it's got a little bit worse. Could lead to both babies dying. But it's just really sad that unfortunately it does come with its complications, which we had no idea about. Unfortunately, the symptoms have got worse. They have to perform the procedure. It's necessary because it's going to give our babies like the best chance of surviving. Just hoping and praying for the best, really. But it's obviously just really scary.
Jessie spent more than 10 weeks of her pregnancy in hospital due to a rare condition that affects twin pregnancies and can be fatal to the babies.
Thankfully, on the 15th of May, Jessie and Zion became the proud parents of baby girls Story Monroe and Ocean Jade, who join us now on the sofa. Alongside them, the specialist who guide them through every step of the way, Dr. Ruan Willem-Sandera. So nice to see you.
Thank
all
you
of
for having
all
us.
5
We
of you.
made it.
You did it.
You made it, and they're here, and they're healthy, and
I
they're
know.
beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So who's
Thank
who? So
you.
Jesse,
I've
who
got
are you
Ocean.
holding?
We actually just swapped right before we came on.
Oh,
Did
thank
you?
you a lot.
But we still get confused.
So this is Ocean.
Ocean.
And this is Story.
And how do you tell the difference? They're exactly
Well,
the same.
we actually, when they haven't got their hats on, Ocean, bless her little heart, she's receding a little bit, so that's how I can tell. But when they've got the hats on, it's very hard to tell.
So they're 69 days old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how early did they come?
31 weeks, 5 days. Yeah.
Almost newborn, basically.
Yeah.
So listen, tell us. Look, every pregnancy comes with ups and downs and complications. So tell us when you realised it was going to be different.
Well, I mean, when we first found out we were having twins, which was just crazy.
Oh yeah.
We were like ecstatic. We was like over the moon about it.
Does it run in the family?
No.
Oh,
So it was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you'd have seen Zion's face. He looked like he'd seen a ghost when we found out. But so I had the scan, and immediately we were told, right, the guy that was scanning us was like, right, I'm not going to scan you anymore because I actually need to refer you to a specialist, a twin specialist. And I just thought that was
Normal.
standard, normal.
Yeah.
Next day, went to see Dr. Ruan, and he scanned us. Babies were fine, and then Dr. Ruan sat us down and then basically told us all the complications that can come with the type of twins that we were having. And I just literally felt like I'd been, like, I couldn't believe, like, the percentages and what could potentially happen to them. And I almost felt like from that point, I couldn't really enjoy my pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because I was just constantly worried that something was going to happen. And we were, I think you told us that we can only really take it like 2 weeks at a time, which is just like,
live your life.
how can you, like, we didn't even want to announce it because, and I actually had a threatened miscarriage quite early on as well.
Oh my goodness.
And from then, even then, I was like, I don't even want to announce it, which is just like, when I think back to it now, it actually makes me feel so sad because it's like, when you're pregnant, that should be like the happiest time of your life. Like, it's so exciting.
And
but
you
we
want
were
to share that.
We were so scared to announce it in case anything happened. I mean, thank God, like, everything's gone well. But we had no idea that this can happen with twins.
And Zion, and as a partner, as a man, you want to be there doing everything you can, and yet you're so helpless.
100%, literally. I just felt like, whilst Jess was going through it all, I literally just felt, just words of reassurance.
Yeah.
That's all I could do. And just trying to stay positive, even though we knew kind of the risks. I was just really trying to stay positive for you, yeah.
Situation.
I
I'm
felt
so lucky I did have
helpless.
him though, because I feel like if I didn't, I'd have gone mental.
Do you know what I've enjoyed? I've
I would
enjoyed
have.
following the story and seeing your relationship, how
thank
beautiful it is.
you.
It's absolutely a beautiful
Thank you
relationship
so
of just
much.
love.
Thank
And I
you.
just was so rooting for them,
Thank
these
you.
babies to come through.
Yeah.
And part of the person who helped this happen
He's
is
our
Dr.
hero.
Ruhan.
Literally.
Dr. Ruhan, can you just tell us about the actual condition that Jessie had? Because I know the baby shared the same placenta, is that right?
That's right. So monochronic twins, identical twins, share a single placenta. And even though each baby has its own part of that placenta, there are blood vessels that join the two together. So in effect, they share a single circulation, which does mean more complications, such as twin-twin. And anything that happens to one baby has a direct impact on the other baby.
Does that happen to every identical twin? They will share them?
No. So twin-twin occurs in about 15%. So about 1 in 6 of these pregnancies.
And what does that mean, the twin-twin?
So
is that the TTTS?
Yes, the twin-twin transfusion syndrome, or TTTS. That's really related to the blood vessels that join the two parts of the circulation together. Normally, they allow blood to flow in both directions, so it's an equal flow of blood. But when you develop twin-twin, there's an unequal flow of blood. So one baby's getting just too little blood, doesn't grow as well, doesn't produce much urine, and unfortunately, that baby can become severely anemic. But the opposite is happening to the other baby. The other baby's getting too much blood flow and can go into heart failure. And so it's when it becomes significant, it's without us doing anything, unfortunately, it's got a very high chance of miscarriage.
What do you do?
Well, what we can do is to try and cure the problem, because the problem are those blood vessels joining the two together. We can put a telescope into the womb, have a look at the inside of the placenta, identify those blood vessels, and with the laser, burn them away. So we leave each baby with its own part of that placenta, and there isn't this unequal flow of blood between the two.
Cut back to these two. Right?
No, I know. And it's just so mad because even when
like, even when everyone told us, like, you're pre-stage TTS, you actually haven't got it yet. It hasn't got to stage 1.
It's only if you get to this situation.
Yeah, I still felt, and every time we were going for scans, it was getting a little bit worse, a little bit worse. But I still felt like we didn't think it was going to happen. I still didn't feel like I was going to have the procedure. I feel like I was a bit like, I don't know, in denial about it. And then when we went, and that literally happened within, like, that happened so quickly. Because I was being scanned weekly to be, like, closely monitored.
Yeah.
And I think I'd come to see you on the Tuesday, and then it was on the Thursday.
So he told you the symptoms?
No, so I'd been told, like, weeks prior to that I had pre-stage TTS, and then every time I was going to be scanned, it was getting worse and worse. And then I'd, like, have my weekly scans, and then right before I had the actual laser, Ruan had said, like, you know, I do think we're getting to the stage where we're going to have to perform the procedure. And there were symptoms to look out for. It was like if your belly gets really tight, like a drum, if you're struggling with your breathing. And 2 days after my scan, we'd gone to the park, and I couldn't even walk because I was just, like, so out of breath. But it's so hard when you're pregnant with twins as well, because what is normal and what's not?
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, well, I've got twins, so of course I'm going to be out of breath. And of course my belly's going to be really tight. I've been growing 2 humans. And then it was thanks to Zahn, actually, that I said to him, like, can you feel my belly? Because I've actually got, like, I've got so used to feeling like this, I don't know what's normal anymore.
And did you feel something different, Zion?
Yeah, because I'd obviously been feeling it throughout the pregnancy, but this specific time, it just felt really, really tight. Like, my fingers couldn't go in.
Right.
Yeah, like, you know, when you press it, it goes a little bit squidgy. It just wasn't like that at all. And then so I rang.
One of the signs that Dr. Ruan had said to watch out for.
So we called, and he was like, just come in, like, it's better to be safe than sorry. And then that day I had to have the procedure, and it just was just like...
I felt like overnight, we literally went from pre-stage to, like, have to have the procedure now. And that procedure is not even, like, guaranteed to work. And I think that was another thing that was, like, terrifying. Even when you was just explaining it, brings back the emotions of anxiety that we had. It's just... Yeah.
So what is that procedure? And then obviously Jessie had you went into labour pretty quickly after that, didn't you?
So the procedure is a fetoscopic laser, and it is a high-risk procedure, and we only do it when the risk of not doing it are greater than the risk of doing it.
Yeah.
And by this stage, because things had got, you know, worse so quickly, we didn't have a choice. We had to do the procedure.
Can I just ask, Doc, did you feel like an added pressure that you had Jessie on your table? Like, she's telling the whole world about what's going on. Did you have that added pressure of thinking, oh, we've got to look after these babies?
Actually, I was telling Jessie earlier that when I was looking after her, she was in my environment, so I was calm as anything. Now I'm in her environment, is a completely different kettle of fish. But no, you know, Jessie was one of my patients, and that's the way we dealt with it. Yeah.
But even when he was doing the procedure, he was just having a casual conversation with George, your right-hand man, and I just remember laying there thinking, oh my God,
Unbelievable,
it's
isn't
so
it? The
calm. It's crazy.
And the serenity they have.
When
you're in the
honestly,
which helps so much. I mean, the medical profession are unbelievable for that, aren't they?
Yeah,
because you're in the most stressful position that you or your family are in.
But that you need that. Like, that's what made me feel, like, reassured and calm when it was all happening.
How quickly did you go into labour after that?
So after that, so was I
10 weeks?
10 weeks, after that, which was
And the babies had to stay in hospital for a bit as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They were premature.
Yeah.
After that, after the procedure, we had to stay in hospital for those 10 weeks.
No.
We stayed in hospital for those 10
So we
weeks.
practically lived in hospital, which was a real journey. But do you know what? The staff and the hospital...
Got to know everyone.
It was lovely. I
sing to
interesting,
everyone.
isn't it? It's interesting, though, when you spend time in hospital, because it becomes your bubble in a
most
really weird
people,
way.
if
You'll sort of say...
Yeah, I feel like if most people you said, all right, you're going to spend 10 weeks in hospital, they'd be like, oh, God. But for me, I don't know if it's because where I was in, like, such a state of fear all the time in my pregnancy, I felt safe to be there. I actually didn't want to go home. Like, when there was times when Dr. Ruan would say, like, OK, you could potentially go home, I was like, no.
Yeah. Can you come home with me, please?
Yeah, literally.
What's incredible is you really want to raise awareness for this condition. You've done a marathon. You've raised a load of money. Well done, Zion.
Thank you so much. That was, like, so hard. I don't even know how to
At
describe
what point was you like, oh, I can't do this anymore?
I think it's like
mile?
going over Tower Bridge. I don't even know what mile that is. But it's like near the
13,
middle.
that's halfway.
Yeah, that's like in the middle.
So good.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm basically dying now. I've got to do that all over again now.
Yeah. Oh, you did so well.
What was beautiful, Jess was obviously in hospital, but our friends and family put her on FaceTime. So as I was running past and I saw them, Jess was just on FaceTime crying.
Mum was like, oh, you're doing so well.
Oh, I bet you were crying for the rest of the journey.
Dr. Ruan, what would you say if people are worried at all about this, if they've got twins and they're thinking, so what's the best way to educate yourself about it?
So I think it is really, I mean, there are plenty of charities and plenty of websites that you can look at, but it's just knowing that there is help out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are things that we can do to help even a really complex, difficult situation.
Brilliant.
To hopefully get a good outcome just like this.
Thank you so much.
We've got a little gift for you as
So
well.
having a hug during the break, I tell you.
Go and get the gift back.
Oh, that's
We've got a little gift for you. Thank you for bringing them in.
fine. Thank you so much.
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
Shall I do it? You're going to love it. There's one each. I love this morning. There it is.
Oh, you should have given it
There's
to us before we
two.
came on. We could have put them in
I know, but it's for you anyway.
Oh, thank
There
you
go.
so much. That's so kind of you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having us.
We're going to have a snuggle. Let's throw to the loose women and have a snuggle. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. Now, on what should have been a perfect day at the beach, 9-year-old William Tyler was left with severe burns after running across boiling hot sand, still scorching from a disposable barbecue that was used to cook on hours earlier.
Yeah, so William was left needing multiple surgeries on his burns. So today's dad, Toby, is joining us to tell us why he's campaigning for change. Toby, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
So nice to meet you. When me and Ali got this, we were sort of, as a brief yesterday, we were just shocked, weren't we, that this could even happen, because it's, I mean, obviously the story itself is just every parent's worst nightmare, but it seems so almost improbable when it hasn't happened to you. So take us back. You're having a family day out on the beach, and you go somewhere almost out of the way to be away from the crowds. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just coming out of lockdown. It was the first time we were able to leave our localities, and so we'd gone to Formby, which is a beautiful spot, big nature reserve, and we'd walked deliberately a bit further out in the sand dunes to give a bit of space and let the kids have a bit of a break and a bit of a engagement with something nice.
So it's you and another family.
Yeah.
They're having a barbecue, but they dispose of it kind of normally and responsibly.
Yeah, but I think this is the thing, the inherent problem with the disposable barbecues is you pop them down, you light them, you use them, and they've done everything that you would expect, really. You'd think, well, now we've done with it, you let it cool, and then some people do leave them. There's a real problem with that, but they'd let it cool and removed it so that the kids could play and there wouldn't be any problem. You know, literally, it was cool. It was a couple of hours after, and they lifted it up, took it out of the way, ready to dispose of. Yeah.
So they've done the right thing. They've done the right thing as far as they thought.
Yeah.
So you're having a lovely time. You're there with your wife Claire, your daughter Lily, and William, having a lovely time on the beach. And then the two kids go off, have a little run. And then the next thing you hear is your son William screaming.
Yeah, that was a...
I'm so sorry.
It was a really hard point because it was so out of the blue, and it's something that doesn't go away. Yeah. They were literally just playing, and his feet sunk into the sand where the barbecue had been several hours before. And we were clueless, I think, really, as to what happened. We thought that he'd trodden on something sharp, or so it took a minute to work out exactly what had happened.
So what had happened is that the barbecue had kind of created an oven underneath it through the sand, and was very, very hot. Even though it was hours before they were cooking, very, very hot. He sunk into the sand, tried to get out with both feet, and the sand's gone over his feet and severely burnt his feet.
Yeah, so as soon as he came out, you could see his foot basically been stripped of the skin, which was, I think that was the difficult thing, because it looked extraordinary, and we couldn't work out what had done. We thought something had pierced it to take the skin off. And sorry, it doesn't sound particularly pleasant, but there was no blood. It was literally the skin had died across his foot straight away.
And then you have to pick him up because you're miles away from the car lights, and then you've got to get him to the emergency ward.
Yeah.
So you have to carry him on your shoulders.
Yeah. Well, just coming out of lockdown, there wasn't a huge amount available. There was a lifeguard hut down the beach, which we ran down to try and get some help, but it was unmanned, unfortunately, so we came all the way back again. At meantime, we'd just been, Claire and the kids had been just pouring water, everything we had to try and sort him out. But yeah, because we were a good distance away from the main crowd, we had a bit of a struggle across the sand dunes to get to the car park to get William to the nearest hospital, which is
Which is traumatic in itself, isn't it?
So he was on my shoulders with his poor feet either side, and he was in extraordinary pain. And but there was nothing we could do. He was incredible, really, just managing to sustain things whilst we got him to Ormskirk Hospital initially.
So when you got to hospital, what sort of burns did he actually have?
Well, both feet were quite badly burned. They gave him pain relief at Ormskirk, and then fairly quickly they immediately transferred him to the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital in Manchester, where he went into the burns unit, and then he spent the next 9 days in there. Nice. So he needed skin grafts to replace all the skin on his feet. So he had 8 nights recovering, and it was quite a difficult time for him because the initial injury was extraordinary in terms of its pain, but he recounts the daily cleans and rebandages were. He rates that as more painful and more traumatic than but you know the sort of the hygiene and the cleanliness was paramount. It was just a very hard time for him.
And what situation is he in now? How is his recovery now?
He's amazing. You know, he's amazing. He's still under the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital. He is very pragmatic about it. He's very positive about it all as well. He talks very positively about what he wants to happen from here. He knows he's been through the mill, but he's dealt with it amazingly well, and he sort of has led his recovery, and he wants positive messages to come out of it. He wants people to understand. He doesn't want it to happen to other people. Yeah. So he's amazing, really.
So let's talk about what you want to change off the back of this. In particular, how people use disposable barbecues and how they are used themselves, the actual structure of them, right?
Yeah. So we did several things post his accident. The year after, he did a load of fundraising, and a year after that, beyond, we then launched a campaign to try and get them banned from use, which was a really difficult thing to do because it's a really politically charged statement to try and ask for something to be banned. It's not something that people want to happen. But as we unpicked it further, I think we realised that the problem with these units is actually in the construction and in how they exist in their own right, because they're incredibly basic and they're made to make maximum profit, with not a single consideration for either safety or the environment at all. And so I think this is what we were sort of thinking, really, is that if there were a few modifications or a few basic safety standards which don't exist at all, which for essentially is a portable throwaway fire tray, which reaches 400 degrees, it seems madness that there's no standards to which they have to be built.
So you want the 3 L's to be implemented.
Yes.
Just talk us through those.
OK, so one of the major problems is to do with heat transfer. So as soon as you put a unit down on whatever surface it is, then you get heat transfer. If it's sand, you get deep heat retention, which can hold for hours. There was a little boy in Lincolnshire last week who got terribly burned. Same situation as William, it was 6 hours.
Wow.
After his family had used it and moved it away. So 6 hours, he had this deep heat retention. He had terrible burns on his feet. If it's in woodland or on peat, you get the same thing. And it's not so much a problem of somebody standing in it, but it's more a problem of it reigniting and causing some of the terrible sort of environmental fires that you've seen. So this deep heat retention is caused through heat transfer.
So you need,
So if you just had some fold-out legs, then immediately that sort of danger and problem is taken away.
You'd have the air underneath as well, so you need legs lifting it and a lid as well.
So the lift thing would be handles, some way of being able to move it, first of all, so that if there is an issue, if there is sort of danger nearby, you can take it out of the way, but also so that people can remove them and not leave them on the beach and the woodland. Causing that. But then a lid as well to retain the disgusting residue which is left afterwards, which helps people to remove them, but it also then ties in heat or flames if it's needed. So the 3 Ls would make a huge impact.
Toby, thank you so much. It's been great talking to you. We're going to go and speak to Anna now.
Thank you.
But thanks for sharing your
Thank you
story
so
much, and best of luck with it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So half of those going to A&E with severe burns are children. So paediatric emergency consultant Dr. Anna Alcott joins us to give us a life-saving guide to preventing and treating burns. Morning. I mean, you hear that, it's an extraordinary story.
Oh, my word, what a story. And I think a lot of the burns that happen are unpreventable and unpredictable, and things that you're just not expecting.
You really don't expect it. And the thing is, you need to know what to do in this situation. And so many people don't know what to do they?
Totally.
So you want to go with the 3 Cs, don't you? So
Yes,
talk us through
please.
those.
So you had your 3 Ls over there,
Yeah.
the 3 Cs over here. Cool, cover, and call. The cooling is the key bit. So whenever anyone has had a burn, wherever it is on the body, cold running water, ideally, for 20 minutes. Now, in children, it's really important that you don't cool the whole child down while you're doing that. Because let's say they've just got a burn on their hand, that's going to be under the cold running water, but I want the rest of their body kept warm.
Right.
Obviously, if it's a catastrophic burn, so I don't know, the saucepan's fallen off the cooker, you've got the option of a shower, you've got the option of a bath, so you can soak the whole body, but ideally you're keeping the child warm while you're cooling that area
Why is
of
that?
skin.
They're going to shock or something?
Well, potentially you're lowering the whole body temperature because 20 minutes of cold water makes the whole body pretty chilly. And then we've got other problems. All we want to do is cool the skin down because it stops the burning, so it stops the damage.
How cold do you want that water to be?
Cool. So
not ice cold.
Not and 100% not ice. That's a really
Why
good
is
point. So ice can ironically burn the skin on its own because it's so cold. You get constriction of those blood vessels, and so nothing is moving through that area. So that can be traumatic on its own. But cool running water, so below body temperature, which is about 36. So somewhere in the 20s would be the dream.
Yeah.
And for that 20 minutes, please.
What about covering? I mean, what if it's the face? Would you cover that as well?
Well, really interesting. So the covering bit is more if you're going to come into hospital. So a lot of people think the right thing to do with a burn is to put toothpaste on it, Sudocrem on it, tomatoes, butter, oil. I mean, the list goes on.
Right.
Nothing. What we want is some good old-fashioned cling film or a bit of plastic bag. Are you up for a bit of a demonstration?
Yeah, of course. So come to you.
No, because I've got my bits over there, so don't you move. You're a little bit older than my normal patient, it has to be said, but we'll go with this.
But he's the same size, though, isn't he?
Seriously, early punch. 25 to 11.
Moving on.
Sorry, doctor. I'm so sorry about her. Can you wait outside, please? In the
No, I
waiting
want to
room?
stay with my son.
So we've cooled it for 20 minutes. Well done.
Yeah.
Cold running water, exactly the right thing to do. You think you need to come into hospital. Ideally,
Can I ask a little question?
Yeah.
When do you make that call? Like how, I mean, obviously that's every parent
Yeah.
instinctively will go, we should bring them into hospital. So like when realistically is that the right call to make?
So that's sort of part of our call bit. You've got 3 options. One is you stay at home, one is you call 111, and the other is 999.
Yeah.
Now, I want to see a burn when it's bigger than 1% of your body surface area, which is the handprint of a child.
Right.
Not quite the same in an adult, but the handprint in a child. I want to see that burn, whether it's just redness, whether it's redness with blistering, or whether it's white and deep. Come in. If it's on the face, the ears, the scalp, the neck, come in because the scarring can cause problems.
Yeah.
If it's on the hands, for the same reason, and the feet. You might be a concert pianist, you're going to need those hands, so we need all of that done properly. Any joints, if there's any burns on the joints, I want to see. So there are various things that we want you to come in anyway because we want things to be correct. So that would be your 111 or 999. Obviously, if it's a catastrophic big burn, 999 and let us deal with that. So to cover it, good old-fashioned cling film. Just tear off a strip that's going to be about the right size, provided the area is clean of clothes and jewellery. To be fair, if the clothes are stuck to the body, do not pull them off.
No.
It's only if they come off easily. You're literally covering the burn, and that will help with the pain.
And no cream at all.
Nothing. That will help with the pain and help keep it clean until you get to us. If you don't have cling film, good old plastic bag, you can either stick the arm in if it's big enough, or just lie it over the top, or cut it so that it's a nice strip and you can do the same thing.
And I suppose it keeps it clean as well, doesn't it?
Completely, and it's really important. If you stay at home with that wound, I don't want it cling filmed because you're then making a hot, humid environment for bacteria to grow. If you're staying at home because it's small, it's superficial, then I just want that to dry in the air.
Wow, Dr. Anna, that was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Not at all.
Thank you
Lots
so,
to do.
so much. Oh, that was brilliant. Thank you. Come and sit yourself down. Thank you, Doctor. You've got a lovely bedside manner.
Hasn't she got a lovely way about her?
Absolutely lovely bedside manner. Loved it.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.